Okay, guys, so we will continue building now the hips of the character. I took some time. I'm just going to show you. I took some time to clean up the leg. And remember the edges I did here. I bring them up, connected them to these upper ones, deleted, cleaned up a bit more the shapes over here. And so overall, it's a bit cleaner now. And but like I said, I mean, as it was in the previous tutorial, it's okay because this part of the body won't have much deformations, but still, if you want to spend some more time cleaning it up, you can just go inside and do some cleanup of the faces and finishing up some of the edges. But for now, we'll continue working on the hips, and for the hips, we'll start building a square. A cube, and we're going to the front view, and we're gonna bring this guy up, and we're gonna start scaling it down, trying to match the reference. Remember to follow your reference as close as possible, as much as you can. Try to make it look good, something like that, more like that. I have a Lego character with me, and I'm looking at it, and yes, probably a little bit more like that. And let's fix it from the side as well. I'm gonna bring it out up here and scale it down just a tiny bit more towards the front. All right, you'll end up with something like this. Okay, so the next thing we have to do is we'll start working with the booleans. Remember, we saw booleans in class, so we're gonna work a bit more with booleans here. And for that, I will start making a copy of the legs. And so I select the legs and press Control D, and I'm gonna move them over up to the side. I see that my translation in X is not quite 0, it's 0.196. So just have to remember that, because I'm not gonna use these legs. These legs are just, I will be using these legs only for the deformation over here, but nothing more than that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start with this one. I will select the hips first, and then the left leg of the character. And I'm going to change to go, remember we stopped at animation because we use the lattice, so we go back into polygons. And here in mesh, I have the operation called booleans, and I'm going to select difference option box. So here, edit, reset the settings. I'm going to apply and close. And now I have, as you can see, it took this part of the leg and carved it into the hips. Okay. Since it's a bit tricky to work with booleans, because even though it seems to be just one piece here, it's keeping a bunch of history. Usually, I like to just make a copy of the piece I just made and apply another boolean over the copy and so on, because at some point when you start working with booleans and you do a boolean after a boolean after a boolean, sometimes the end result's a bit mixed up, and other times it doesn't work as it's supposed to be. So in order to keep it clean, I'm going to press Control D again, and I'm gonna move the copy and delete the original. How do I know? Because the original has some inputs here. It has history on it, in it. And if I select the copy doesn't have anything. It's just a copy of it. So I'm going to delete the original, and I'm going to bring this one back to 0 where it was originally, okay? And now I will proceed with the other leg. So I'm going to select these two legs, And remember it's 1.96, sorry, 0.196. I leave them there. I'm going to press Control V to make another copy. I'm gonna move them. Oops. And I'm gonna move away this one, and I'm gonna take the originals and keep them safe over here. Okay. So now I'm going to select this one and do the cut over here. For that, I will probably have to go select this one, 0.196, and just use the other one as reference. So I'm going to select this one, which is the copy, and from the front view, I just need to overlap it. Something like that. Yeah, around like that, something like that. And then to select the two other pieces, I can go here and just select this leg. I think it's this one, this one. I just selected them on the outliner. In the outliner, we haven't added names. We need to add some names. We'll do that later on. And I'm gonna move these guys a little bit towards the side, and I'm going to do the exact same thing here. I select the pelvis, then select the leg, and select mesh, booleans, difference. Oh, and since this one's a copy, you see it didn't do it. It didn't work. So what I have to do is probably just delete this one. And instead I'm gonna bring the, oh, I'm not gonna delete it. I'm just going to use it as reference and bring this one over it and use it as the right operator. Because the thing is that it's not working because remember this leg was instanced from this one, so it's not a real leg. It's more like an instance of this leg. So I have to use the original one to make, if I want to make the hole in it. So I'm going to select the original, press Ctrl D, and just bring it back. Again, I'm going to repeat the operation I did, but now with a copy. So I'm going to select these two, 0.196 to bring it to the original position, and I'm going to the front view, and I'll bring this guy over here, around there. And again, I'm going to select these two cylinders, which are the originals, and just move them away. And I'm going to select again this piece, shift this piece, and then mesh, booleans, difference. And now it's carved into it. Okay, this is carved, and now over this shape, I'm going to press Ctrl V again to make a copy, clean up everything, delete the original with the history in it, and the copy, I'm gonna put it back at 0 in X. So it remains at that position, and I'm also going to select these two guys and bring them to 0.196, which is the center here. And now I have this shape here on this one. It's carved in. All right, and I will probably scale them up. I'm going to scale them up. So I'm going to select all the vertices from the side. I'm going to the side view here. And as you can see, I'm selecting all the vertices from the side, and I'm just going to pull them up like this. I'm going to pull them up a bit. So I'm still able to see a space between the hip shape and the legs. I'll leave it like that. And if I go here, is what I was talking about. I see this space between the legs, which is kind of like what I wanted. I want this black bar to be noticeable there, just to let just to give the impression that they're attached, but still they're not part of the same piece. They're just attached one to each other. Okay, and the last thing would be the centerpiece. So for the centerpiece, it's just basically just a cylinder. So I'm going to create a cylinder here. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees over the z-axis, and I'm going to scale it down. I press R here, I start scaling it down. Okay. I'm going to the side view, and I'm going to accommodate here just a little bit like that over the leg, just following the shape of the leg. Maybe actually, you know what, if you want to make it stay here at the same position, I could press the V, the V letter, that's UV, and in the keyboard. And while I press it, notice how the circle, sorry, the yellow box turns into a circle. It's another snapping option. So I press V, which is the same button as this one. It's a magnet with a dot. You can press this one, and when I move it, it automatically snaps to the following vertex, or the vertex where I'm pulling it out. So I'm going to unselect that one, and then I'm just going to move it from the side, and I'm basically put it at the center. Put it at the center over here. It's actually, you know what, it should be 0 in X. That's the center. And I'm going to scale it inwards over the x-axis, just like this. Okay. I'm going back into my perspective view, but this part of the character needs to be away. I'm watching my reference here, and it's barely at the same distance for the legs. So I'm going to make it a bit bigger from this part, around there, maybe just a tiny bit bigger than the leg. And I'm going to scale it down again, just a tiny bit like that. All right. And once it's done, I'm just going to click away. And the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to merge, to combine this and this piece into one big piece. So I select the two pieces, and I'm going to select Edit Mesh. Where's it? Mesh, Combine. Let me see if Combine is the right thing to do it. No, you know what? Instead of combine, I'm also going to use booleans, and I'm going to make a union of them. So that way, I won't end up with faces inside the object. All right. So in order to prevent that from happening, I'm going to select these two, and then mesh booleans union. And now there are one object. There. You can see here, I'm going to make a jump inside of it, and see this is the pelvis, and the pelvis is now part of the. They're both just one part, and it's empty inside. It doesn't have the rest of the circle inside of it, because they're now just one piece, basically just one piece. But since it still has some history to it, I'm going to do what I've been doing so far, which is make a duplicate, Control V, move the duplicate away, select the original piece and delete it. Then select my copy, which is this one. I'm going to select my copy and bring it to 0 in X. And that's it. That's the pelvis of the character. Now the only thing that remains to be done is the arm and the hand. We'll work one arm and one hand on the left side, and then we'll do the same thing we did with the legs. We'll just mirror it to the left. All right. So we'll stop there. Remember to save the scene. And that's it. Thank you.